On to this now, government has tabled a 7.5% wage increase offer for the public sector workers. This happens at the height of the strike season in South Africa, when civil servants and employees of state-owned enterprises go on an industrial action. The offer consists of 4.5% non-pensionable cash allowance and a 3% pensionable wage increase. The Department of Public Service and Administration has said this was its final gesture of goodwill. This comes as COSATU, FEDUSA, NUMSA and the South African Communist Party joined striking Transnet workers in solidarity. Joining us now to explain government's position is Jones Galorale, Chief Negotiator in the Department of Public Service and Administration. Jones, good evening, and thank you very much for your time today here on In Focus. 7.5%, is that the latest offer, and is there a deal in place, or does the impasse continue?
I've missed that question, Thabo.
I'm saying 7.5%, is that the new offer that you have given to Labour, and is there a deal in place? Have they reacted to it, or does the impasse continue?
Well, thank you very much, Thabo, for this opportunity. Yes, I think this will also provide us with the opportunity to clarify the government's offer. Yes, indeed, the final offer that has been tabled by government is 7.5%. But we need to contextualize this and clarify this further, that this 7.5% can be broken down into two. It constitutes of two components. The first component is the 4.5% that is derived from the 20.5 billion that is in the budget. And that translates into about 1,000 rand per month for each employee from level 1 to 12. That's a non-pensionable cash allowance. Then the second component is the 3% adjustment on the baseline. So all in all, it's that 7.5 that we're talking about.
How does that offer differ from what we heard being reported earlier by Satao and Untu, that you had now offered them 4 to 5%?
Well, Thabo, let me just indicate that what we are dealing with here now is the negotiations that are taking place at the Public Service Coordinating Bargaining Council, and those trade unions, Satao and the others, the current wage negotiations, they do not form part of the public service wage negotiations at the PSTBC.
I see. So who do who's affected by this particular offer?
This offer relates to the public service workers, the public servants. And not those that are in the broader public sector, the public service.
I see. All right. And how far are you from each other in as far as this matter is concerned?
Well, I don't believe that we are that far, even though the parties have expressed their displeasure. But what gives us comfort is that we are still continuing to talk, despite the deadlock that has been declared, which we hope, and we are very optimistic that we will find each other very soon to settle this matter amicably.
Are you going back to the Public Bargaining Council, and you're saying government is still open for negotiation? What does that mean? I mean, what room do you still have?
Well, we have tabled the final offer, but like I'm saying, we are still open to any form of talk that might see us settling this matter. Not really to reopen negotiations, because we don't want to create an impression that there might be something that we are hiding and so forth. We have played our cards very open, but we're still saying let's remain open to each other to see how best can we then close this particular chapter. I must indicate that our eyes now should be on the wage negotiations for 2023-24. The reason why we're saying this, Thabo, is that the biggest challenge we're having in the public service is that our processes, the negotiations process, is not aligned to the government's planning cycle. Right. And that poses a very great challenge and a risk to the negotiations. And that's what we're trying to address.
Now, the Public Servants Association is preparing for a strike which could start as soon as next week. Are you hoping that this offer could avert that strike?
Yes, no, they are part of the negotiations. We have tabled this offer to them. We are continuing to talk to them. We hope that it will not come to that point, that breaking point where they engage in the strike. But they are part of those trade unions that you are talking to.
As far as the fact that SATU has accepted this offer, how does this new revised offer affect them?
Well, the offer affects the public servants equally, so whether you belong to this, whatever trade union you belong to, because this is a transverse matter that cuts across the public servants, including the teachers, the police, and so forth. So they're equally affected. But the reason why perhaps the out of our engagement with them is that the bigger picture is to focus on the 2023-24 so that we close this round and then we are able to influence the budget. And that's the plea that we are making to all the trade unions, that the sooner we close this round, the better, so that then we can focus on the bigger picture of the 23-24 and we are able to influence the budget. So those are the reasons that we've been engaging them with, so that they see and then accept this particular offer.
So government reneging on the 2018 agreement makes that a little bit difficult, because unions have said they are now reluctant to negotiate multi-year arrangements. And so do you think that would stand in the way of what you are now calling for?
Well, we remain hopeful that through our engagements, we will be able to, for purposes of stability and the reasons that we are always advancing, we hope that we might be able to get the multi-term agreement come the end of negotiations for 2023-24. I'm saying this, Thabo, because preceding this round of negotiations, we went into the Public Service Summit. And in that Public Service Summit, we tried to find each other in terms of closing the trust deficit that exists between the trade unions and government. And we believe that we have managed to a certain extent to close that trust deficit, which then would lay a good foundation for us to reach a multi-term agreement.
The Public Servants Association is saying they've went as low as 6.5%, arguing that this was a deep compromise considering inflation is above 7%. You still remain at 3% in terms of baseline, and the 4.5 is really that non-pensionable cash allowance. Do you see that as a good enough, I suppose, reason for them to move and accept?
Yes, look, Thabo, we did not start at 3%. Our initial offer was what is in the kitty, in the budget, which is 20.5 billion. So we have initially taken that 20.5 billion and distributed it into a non-pensionable cash allowance. That is where we started. And through good faith negotiations that we have demonstrated over a period of time during these 5 months of negotiations, we were able to move from that position to where we are today, to a 3% over and above the 4.5 non-pensionable. So it's not that we started at 3%, it's through the process of engagement, openly so. We have put our cards openly on the table, and that's where we find ourselves with this particular offer.
Jones, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. Jones Galorale, Chief Negotiator of Government at the Department of Public Service and Administration.